Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode where I explain some of the facts and glitches that I have learned about GTA 5 in the over 6,000 hours that I have been speedrunning the game. Before I begin, yes, I am working on Pacifist Percent Part 4, hopefully it'll be out in the next few days. On the mission Construction Assassination, rather than using the elevators like normal, it is actually possible to taxi to the waypoint on top of the building, even though a taxi clearly couldn't normally reach there.
Hey my man, where you going?
Pillbox Hill.
It is noteworthy, however, that the taxi doesn't always spawn in a favorable orientation. When you run to the top of the building, you will notice that your target and all the usual enemies have not spawned. You can, however, get them to spawn by going out on these bars and moving between them so you slightly move down.
Oh shit, there he is! Stay down! Any more you bitches wanna get in my way? Paying you work for that, homie.
As long as you kill the pilot before he gets the helicopter in the air, you can use the helicopter to leave the area to end the mission. It is also possible to go up the first elevator to relocate the waypoint on the roof to taxi to somewhere different.
Any more you bitches wanna get in my way?
You simply need to jump off, parachute down, and call a new taxi.
Where you headed, homie?
Pillbox.
Okay, buddy, there you go.
Now you spawn on the highest point on the roof, teetering on the brink of death. Humorously, bikers will get off their bikes in order to attack hostile wildlife.
Yeah. Dick sucker! Deep breath.
Some of you may have been unaware that there even is hostile wildlife in this game. Yes, they do exist and they will kill you if they are able. You can duplicate any vehicle using your garage and a wanted level. Step 1. Grab the car you want to duplicate and put it in your garage. Step 2. Get out of your car, in your car, out of your car again, and leave the garage on foot. Step 3. Get a wanted level, enter your garage, and then leave it again. Outside in a parking spot will now be a duplicate of your car. You can also take the car out of your garage as well to know that the duplication has been successful. If you go into waist-high water and fire a rocket downwards, it will float up into the air. There are examples in this game where the mission text lies to you about what you actually have to do. For example, here on Nervous Run, the game insists that you take the ATV, even to the extent that it gives you a blue dot and will continuously try to point you back to that point. However, you can actually take any vehicle to pick up the sniper rifle and go to the water tower.
Bikers. Hardware's not here yet. I'm coming up.
Once you move into the next scene, it will simply spawn your ATV as if you brought that vehicle all along. Another example is on Caida Libre. If you get off your bike with Trevor, it'll show a blue dot indicating that you should get on the bike and chase the plane.
There you go!
In reality, however, you can chase down the plane in whatever vehicle you desire.
Pilot's fighting it, but he's going down. Good. Stay on him. He's in files. Flight November 9 or Charlie Echo. Say your soul's on board. Your soul's on board. Engine 2 total.
Moving back to Nervous Ron, the game tells you that you should be very concerned about flying over the military base.
Military base coming up. Fly low. We don't want to show on their radar. Keep low over the swamp, boss.
But in actual reality, you can fly however you like here. You can even land and steal vehicles and no one will care and you won't get a wanted level. You will of course eventually have to take off again to finish the mission. Speaking of which, it is possible to land in the hangar at the end without landing on the runway or even putting down your wheels.
I'm sorry, Trevor.
Interestingly, in the cutscene it'll show your plane as levitating without any wheels. One of my favourite glitches in this game is called the human kite. Get on a train with your character, take cover wherever you want and then aim down the sight, slowly turning yourself to move yourself off the train. As you are no longer technically attached to the train, it will begin to outdistance you, and when you stop aiming down the sight, the game will try to rubber band you back to where you first took cover. The reason why this is called the human kite glitch is that if you let the train massively outdistance you and then stop aiming down the sight, you can go on a little adventure. At this point in the air, for some reason I lost all momentum, although I could spin myself weirdly in a circle. A more simple oddity is that if you set yourself to unarmed when you're in a car that has the windows up, if you aim out the window will disappear to let your arm out.
You should get some help with that personality of yours.
It is possible to shoot the petrol tank of any vehicle so that it begins losing petrol. If you then drive these vehicles, they will eventually run out of petrol and no longer function. This is quite strange considering that the cars themselves don't have a petrol mechanic, like you don't actually have to refill them with petrol.
Start, you piece of crap.
Something that took me a long time to notice playing this game is that there's a small arrow next to the distance on your map that tells you exactly where you're meant to go.
You got lucky, buddy.
You cannot manually save in any mission. However, the third way, or ending C, is unique in that it is the only mission with an autosave in the middle of the mission.
So, what's up? What's next?
After you complete the main shootout, it autosaves prior to the point where you have to kill your 3 targets. This autosave is the only save in the entire game that once you load it, you will load directly into the middle of a mission.
Alright, we made our plans, let's stick to them.
So that's it for this episode everyone, thanks for watching. You may have noticed in this series that in my intro or outro I might show off a way to get out of bounds. While not interesting enough for the main bulk of the video, it's still interesting to see what ways you can get out of bounds after all these years. Of course, these being largely useless, Rockstar isn't exactly motivated to remove them, but it's still kinda cool. Also, this facts video may be the last for quite a while, as I do need to work more on pacifist percent because that is what most people want to see. With that all now being said, I hope you're doing well, have a good one.